Hi guys, I'm Garcella Robinson and welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. So this video I have been wanting to do for a long time. Now, I have always been in love with keeping track of my books, keeping track of how much I spent, and also just keeping track of my books. I have such a short-term memory that sometimes I'll end up rebuying books that I've already bought. So I literally love to keep track of it down to the T. So that's what I kind of want to go over with you guys is not only, well, of course, I want to go over my stats on everything that I've read this year, well, for this quarter, and pretty much just go over that with you guys. So let's get started. Now, before beginning the video, I want to tell you guys that I have a huge surprise at the end of the video. So if you stay to the end, thank you. And I hope you end up enjoying the surprise. And yeah, and for those who want to skip, okay, I won't tell if you do and you still clicked onto my video, but at least give it a like, okay? But you can skip to the end. I'll have it mapped out on where the surprise is so you guys will know. So, the first thing that I want to mention is I was able to read, well, in these 7 months, I was able to read 56 books. Now, I'm so happy about this because one, my goal is to reach 100 books, and I'm kind of way above my curve. I believe if I look at my Goodreads, I'll be able to see that I'm 3 books ahead. So, I'm really happy about that. Okay, I am happy about that. Now, I will say any book is a book, and I will say majority of that goes to my romance books, which are like, especially if I'm reading them on Kindle, they're at least 200 pages, and I kind of feel like that kind of put me behind of the the pages that I want to read, but yeah. So next it will be my pages read. I was able to read 19,728. And like I was mentioning before about me reading a whole bunch of short books. Well, not like a lot of short books. I have some long books in there, okay? I have some long books in there. Not that I see anything wrong with it. I feel like a book is a book, okay? If that thing have 50 pages, it's a book, okay? It's just a novella, but it's still counted. Okay, whatever. So, and my average reading per week was 816, and my average rating is a 3.8. Now, this I am kind of sad about. I feel like maybe I'm just not picking good enough books, and maybe I need to change something up because so even last year, my average rating was a 3.8, and I really just want to get like maybe a 4.2. Like, I feel like it's never in the fours ever, other than the one time that I just started getting into Goodreads. Now, don't get me, I've been reading for a minute, but I got into Goodreads somewhat near the time that I started boot camp, and I ended up getting my Goodreads and stuff just to track my books. And that at that time, literally, I was like, oh, every book is a 5-star. So if you even go on my Goodreads, you'll be able to see I believe it was my 2022 or 2021, one of them. You'll literally see majority of all my books 5 stars. And okay, if I look back over them, if I was to go back through them, yeah, they all would be getting re-rated because that was a bald-faced lie. So now that we got those over, let's go into how many books I've bought in those 7 months. And I just want to say I'm embarrassed. Okay, I'm embarrassed. Don't get me wrong. I love buying books. I feel like that's my favorite path. If I'm not reading, I'm buying books, okay? Like sometimes I'll just be looking at books, and sometimes I feel like it's just a hit of what's it called? Dopamine. And instead of getting my nails done, because I do my own nails, instead of doing my nails and getting it from that, I get it from buying books. So sometimes if I'm a little bit down, I won't say like depressed or anything, but if I'm down, I'll go to the bookstore and I will buy a book that I've been looking at for that week, and it makes me happy. So, yeah, who gonna stop me? Who gonna stop me? But anyway, I am embarrassed by this number, And that's because majority of these books were, if you watch my video of my I'm tripping, my 2025 book haul of 2025, that was the first biggest book haul I had since I got back from deployment, and majority of those purchases came from there. So yeah, that's how I was able to have that many books available for you guys. And I also pre-ordered 3 books, and y'all know how expensive it is to get an limited edition from Book Bounty. I believe I at least spent 56 there. And I had bought Catabis literally right when they dropped it, because RF Kwong will always get my money. I don't care. She will always get my money. So I end up pre-ordering her book. I pre-ordered The Devils, and I also got the special edition for The Devils too, because I love Joe Abercrombie. Abercrombie. Yeah. Abercrombie. So yeah, that definitely took $100. So that was already 100 right there. But yes, I bought 41 books. And the money I spent was $749.43. That's almost $1,000 on books. What am I doing? Don't I have bills to pay? Don't I have bills to pay? Okay, let me stop. But that is a lot of money. This is not including the discounts that I got for at least my Barnes and Nobles. I kind of just got the base pay and I put that in, so it might be a little bit less, okay? It might even be $500. Let me be delusional, okay? Let me be delusional. It was maybe $500. And we're just going to say that, okay? But yeah, that's all the books that I bought and how much money I spent. So the next thing that I plan on getting into is all the series that I started this year, and in these 7 months, and series that I finished. Now I didn't really finish that many series, because I the only ones that I count is ones that, like, say if I started but I never, because usually when I read series I like to literally knock them out all in at back at like right after the other one. So I kind of don't count those ones. I just count the ones that I usually put a pause on. And that was a series that I finished, cuz I'm currently reading, like, I was reading 19 series that I was in the middle of. Some I'm caught up with, like Empire of the Vampire and some other ones. But I was able to finish the Greenbone saga, and I started the band duology. So the next one that I have to get to, I'll show you. But like I said, I was able to finish both Jade War and Jade Oop, I'm tripping. They both upside down. I was able to finish Jade War and Jade Legacy, which I loved really much, very much. These were definitely a good read. I don't know why I waited so long to get to this one, but you can get my whole entire thoughts on it, and I believe it was either my April or May wrap up, leaning towards May. And then the next one that I had started Kings of the Wild. It's on it's on here, and then this is the next one that I need to get to if I want to be able to finish it. It's only one book, but yeah, it's just not a main priority right now, but I'm gonna try to get to this one so I can have it done. Yeah, so now we're done with the series. I know it's not really a lot. I'm trying to really make progress on it. That's why, after looking at pretty much the list that I made, I noticed that I really need to literally get my hands into all of the series that I'm currently in between. And yeah, I just need to get through it, because I feel like it's really put me behind, especially with starting new series, because it makes me not want to start one, because I know that I have other series that I need to get to, and a lot of them are ones that I literally can get to at this moment. So it's just, I'm such a mood reader, okay? I need to be in the mood to get to them. So anyway, let's go into our next category, and that will be the worst books that I've read this year. I kind of feel bad for putting these in this category, mainly because majority of these books aren't like the worst books that I've ever read. They are at the bottom of my list, and they were they were either more than 3 or like not even more than 3. They was like less than 3, so either a 2.75 or just down below. Okay? So that's pretty much why I got put in these lists. I felt like everybody have their own preferences. These were just mine, and I don't feel like these are the worst books. I just want to get that out of the way. Like, I'm not about to sit here and bash these books cuz they were just okay. Like, they was just okay, and they were the worst ones I read in this quarter. So the first book that I want to mention is The Guest List. Now, I when I read this, the only reason why I didn't like it because I really felt like it didn't feel like a murder mystery to me. I don't know why. It didn't feel like a murder mystery. I felt like, don't get me wrong, I got the concept of it. I just feel like for such a small book, like I believe it was like 200 and something pages. For such a small book, it took me so long to read it because I just really was not invested. Like, it really wasn't pulling me into this mystery, this mystery or thriller. And it was like there was a surprise at the end. And tell you the truth, I already knew who did it. I already literally I guessed it from the beginning, and it was just no surprise for me, so it kind of made the book really dull, at least for me, and that's the reason why it got 2 stars. And I really wish that I could love it because this was like a YouTube recommendation, and I was like, okay, this, like, the premise sounds so good, like, they were stuck on an island, couldn't get off, a wedding going on, and this and that and the third. And then majority of the time I kind of felt like the author was trying to make it like, I don't want to give any spoilers, but I felt like the author was trying to make it where, because people are going through like this, like, dark times, and then not even just that, it was just like a lot going on, and there were like the author was trying to like point you in different directions, but I was pointing in no direction. I knew who did it. Okay, I knew who did it. Now, the next one that I want to mention is All Superheroes Need PR. Now, I did read this in a vlog that I did. It was in well, you can check the video up, it's in the link above. I really thought I would love this one too, especially because we have superheroes, and they actually put, like, the way the author put it, she kind of put like a realistic spin on it with the superheroes needing a PR team to make themselves look good. And I feel like a lot of the times when you have, like, okay, I am a huge Marvel fan. Well, just anything with powers, okay? But mostly Marvel. I'll be the one that's going to see all the movies. They have been letting me down a little bit. But yeah, so when I had saw this one and I saw that it had powers, I was like, okay, yeah, I want to get into this. And plus, I feel like a lot of the time, like, I feel like a good story would definitely go so well if they were to put like a realistic side on it, especially because where is all the people, like, how high insurance got to be, how high the insurance got to be, especially like, oh yeah, you got to have Superman insurance on your stuff just in case he crashed into your house. Like, so when I had saw this book, I was like, okay, might be really good. And yes, with it being on the worst books I read this year, you can tell it didn't go great. And only because I felt like the author was just all over the place. I felt like there was a lot of things that really could have been more simplified, but it was just like, oh, bam, 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 back to back. And I just was not messing with it. So I was like, yeah, no, 2.5. Okay. 2.5. And I really was sad that I gave it to this number, but it just was not good. And I was really upset because it was like kind of like I was really like really wanting to read it, and yeah, it let me down. It let me down. Now, the last one that I want to mention is, well, you can see as I don't have the books, I actually put this in my unhaul video, and that's A Curse So Dark and Lonely series. It was so bad, I gave it away. I unhauled it. Literally right after I read it. I feel like sometimes when you don't like a book, you like, okay, let me try this again. Maybe I just wasn't in the right headspace. No, not with this series. And it made me so mad because Bridget Commimer, I love her, A Dark, and I believe it's Defy the Dawn. I love her Defy the Dawn series. I felt like she did an awesome job on that one. So when I saw this one, A Curse So Dark and Lonely, I was like, okay, maybe it'll give me something similar. And it did not, and I did not like it. And I also did a review in this on my one of my May wrap ups, so I'm not gonna get too much into it, but this was definitely one of the worst series I read this year. And I really was hoping that it would turn around because it did get a little bit better. I don't want to sit there and bash the whole entire series, okay? It did get a little bit better in the second book, and in the third book, it felt like a rush job, like she was just rushing to hurry up and finish the series. And I just wasn't with it, so it got added to this list. So, guys, so you already stayed here this long, and now let's finally get into my last category so you guys can finally know what my surprise is. So the next category that I would be getting into is the best books that I've read in this quarter. And the first ones that you already know I got to start with is Jade War and Jade Legacy. Of course, these are at my top. I even mentioned in my May, these were the best books that I've read so far this year. And once again, I'm so sad that I waited so long to even get to these books. But they were such great books, and I believe I rated them 4 and 5 stars. Such a good read. Such a good read. And then the next one that I want to mention is of course Real. So if you end up if you watch my video of reading Black romance for a week, this was at the top and how I was shedding tears. I had to pick up the physical copy, okay? I had to pick up the physical copy because it was so good. And I'm really hoping on the next read, which probably won't be soon, but it's going to be soon. I want to annotate this book and actually get down and pretty much dissect how good of a writer Kennedy Ryan is, okay? My next favorite book that I've read this year, or the best book, was Ferris by what's her name? I'm sorry, I'm blinking. Marissa Meyer. Yeah. Ferris by Marissa Meyer. I really love this. So when I had first read the Cinder series, I didn't read her novellas that came with it, and I was like, okay, if I'm doing a reread, I want to see the other side of her because she ended up writing like two other novellas. One was about Wolf, and this one was about the Queen, and she did such a great job. I feel like the main reason why I loved it is because one thing about my villains, especially in books, I'm sorry, I don't want you to give them a redemption arc. I really don't. Because I feel like even when authors try to do a redemption arc, it's either never done well and making you hate that character even more, or I felt like they're just trying to get some sympathy for the villain. And I feel like in Ferris, Marissa Meyer doesn't do that at all. She wants you to not like the Queen. She just wants you to know the reasons of why the Queen did what she did. And yes, she had valid reasons for herself. Yes, she did. But the way that Marissa Meyer does it, she lets you know, like, yes, she's still evil. Like, just because she went through all of these traumatic experiences that led her up to this, as this person, as this villain, she still played a part and she still chose to go down this path, even when there was ways that she could have changed it. And when I say, I was like, how can you love a book if you're so livid at the character, which is crazy? But it was just the writing style and the anger that Meyer wanted you to feel, and she did it in such a spectacular way. And I feel like if you read the Cinder series, you should really pick it up because it is really good. Recommended. 10 out of 10. I rated this 5 stars and it deserved it, okay? It deserved it. The last one that I want to mention is The Silent Patient. Now, I don't remember if I put this in my unhaul. I don't have like the short-term memories and works, okay? The short-term memories and works. I don't know if I unhaul this. I do know that I end up doing this as a buddy read because me and a couple of friends and coworkers, they know that I love to read. So while we were on deployment, we end up making like a short-term book club. So while we were there, and this was one of the books that got picked up. And the reason why I love the book so much is because I just did not expect that ending to be what it was. Okay. I did not expect that ending to be what it was. And it was just so good. Like, the way it all circled back on each, I mean, the way the whole entire book circled back on itself was really great. And I kind of like, I had bought this book a minute ago. So when they had recommended it, I was like, oh, I really don't want to read it, especially because I left my book at home. And so I ended up getting the, what's it called? The Kindle version, online version or whatever. I ended up reading it that way, and it was such a good book. It was really good. And I was just happy to get to it at least this year, even if it took me a minute to get to it and joining a short-term book club to do it. At least I got to it and it was really good. I did rate this 4 stars. And I don't even remember why. I don't remember why, but I do feel like it was good. I feel like anything above a 4 is a good book. I feel like when you take a star away, usually it's because of personal things that you just did not like about the book, but not that the book wasn't good. And that's just in my opinion. That's what I do for my books. If I'm taking a star or half a star, it's mostly because personal, not anything that I feel like will stop a book from being as good as, well, just making anybody loved it, and I loved it. So yeah, but that's all the books that I have for the favorites. I know it's really short. This is what I'm talking about, of actually finding a new way and maybe getting out my mood reading a little bit so I can be able to find a 5-star read and stop reading everything that's below 5 stars, because I feel like just with those books, it took 7 months just to get those books. And I believe I read them early on. And there were books that I never expected. Well, not for the Jade War and Jade Legacy. I was going to get to that regardless. But Real and The Silent Patient, I would have never got to them if it wasn't recommendations, or I wasn't planning on reading, like doing a video for it, you know? So maybe it's me. Maybe I just need to find a way to just pick books that's out of my comfort zone, because the way it's looking like when I'm out of my comfort zone, that's when I end up liking the books. So now that we're at the end of the video, guys, let me tell you the surprise that I have for you. So I've always wanted to do pretty much a readathon. I would like, when I used to watch them, I used to be like sitting in my barracks room, I'll have them playing, and I don't know, I felt like it was just such an experience and it was so fun, and I finally want to be able to do my own. But I feel like it would be, I feel like what will be able to also, like, thank all of my subscribers who's been subscribing, and to be able to bring in new watchers. And I was like, a book giveaway, a book giveaway. What other way? So that's what I'm going to be doing, and that's going to be the surprise. So let's get into a little bit more of the details on how you can possibly win this free book. So I'm going to be doing a readathon for 3 days. It's going to be Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. The upcoming Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. Let me look at the dates. Okay. It's going to be from the 21st to the 23rd. I'm going to do 3 days and 3 hours a day. And for you to get put into the roster of me picking a random subscriber or new subscriber, you'll have to be subscribed to my channel, stayed more than an hour for each day, and this will be the book that you win. I don't want to like make y'all end up staying that long, and it's not even a book that you want, So the book that I have is After the Forest. Now I never touched this book, and you can see that it's in perfect condition. I got this from Illumicrate. Now, it is a beautiful edition, and not saying that I don't want to read it. I would love to read this book. I feel like it has a good premise, and if you want to see the premise, of course, you can always just look it up. But let me go ahead and take the cover off so you guys can see the book that you can possibly be winning. But yeah, this is the cover if you haven't seen it. I don't remember when I had got this, but I ended up staying in my Illumicrate. I don't want to give this, so I don't want to like sell it or anything. But I do want to be able to show you guys that I love y'all watching my videos, okay? I love y'all supporting me, and I want to be able to give that support back and show you guys that I don't want you to pay me. I want to kind of, in a way, pay you with giving you free books. So, yeah, I hope you liked this video. Thank you so much for staying. And if you didn't stay to the end and you kind of just skipped, don't forget to leave that like. It's a little bit old, okay? Okay, it's not old. It's not old. I don't want to make it seem like you owe me. You don't. But thank you. So, guys, I hope to see you on that live readathon. And you guys can get to know me. And we also can get a lot of productivity. I can't pronounce my words. Productivity done in that time frame. So thank you so much, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye.